Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay, so welcome to a final session from my side. The agenda, as I told last week also, that today we are going to wind up the thing that we saw in the first 2 weeks about how this large language models have been, are going to change, not have been, but are changing, and also in future also they will highly influence your search, your customer search behavior, and influence it. So what I will do is there were three slide decks that were shared to you. The third slide deck is the agenda for the day. But because a couple of weeks have passed, first we will just quickly brush up in that slide decks in 5 minutes, at least the basic concept, so that we are back to base where that what we are dealing with. So I will just quickly browse through this slide deck, and then we will start with the main agenda, that the technical slides that I have for you. So just to recall, we started with this interesting slide that which says uh, that on ChatGPT, unlike Google, there is no page two. If an LLM doesn't mention you, your brand, you are invisible. So we saw a couple of ways where LLM can influence the user search behavior. We saw that first thing was in Google itself, there was AI overviews, and also there were AI mode. Then we saw that within LLM also, I showed you my example of how I was searching for a chimney and all. So within an LLM, you can ask within that software itself. That is also LLM powered, but that is not Google overviews. Third thing, within this same domain, we saw that Amazon Rufus, that within those apps, Amazon and all, there is also an LLM based. Flipkart used to have it, but right now they have taken it down. But they also started with it, but right now they don't have it. So this slide that we are having, that in an LLM, that if you're using an app, within any app that you have, there's no page two. So if your LLM doesn't mention your brand, then you are in a bit of problem. We saw this couple of examples which I showed you about the stars and all. We saw that for some of us it was personalized, for some of you it was not personalized. The reason being, Google is on a basis of cohort, it is testing what is best for you, and it is trying automatically switching on personalization to some people, or switching off it for some others. So you always have the option to go the other way around. We saw that once we are in the USD dollar, the cards that are showing are more of an American because it's US dollar. It is trying to assume, but once I shifted to this Indian context here, then started the name of the car started to come up Indians. So we had this debate of, we saw lots. This was Amazon Rufus. So we understood that oh, it is not the prior SEO that used to happen, that was keyword stuffing. It's not more thing, but we have to make our content uh, improve on the content that we are putting, so that the AI learns in a better way. And just let us quickly see some things. Yeah, so we saw that customer journey will be changing. Now it will not like a decision making process that show me the best running shoes, that couple of links will come, and then the search will keep on going on in multiple steps, but it will be a very fluid process where the customer or the prospective customer will just straight away tell what are the goals and what are the scenario context is, and then a couple of recommendations may come, and the choice can be made from those only. Moving ahead, we saw this funnel type, that how this traditional funnel and the LLM powered funnel, where These choices were reduced based upon how the LLM perceived that these are the best options that the customer should go for, given the theory that we learned that the LLM learns about the context as a whole. And apart from this, yeah, so we have all this RAG stuff going on, and also reinforcement learning, human feedback that goes on. And then we said that do not focus on solving an immediate problem, but try to focus the content that solves the long-term problem or long-term resolutions. So of that's why how your content is there, it should not be immediate, but it should be a holistic. So we had lots and lots of slides. Important. Let me see. Yeah, we had this share of model concept also. Rather than share of voice and share of wallet that we are habitual to, we saw that the share of model. You had that HBR article also where you saw that the circles in that image that were coming, and that told you that for those particular laundry detergent brands, which of the uh, at, attributes are preferred, or which of the brands are highlighted more by different LLMs. So it was not a consistent, but across different LLMs, different brands were getting a focus. So share of model was in an LLM, that is the model means whichever model is Claudius or Gemini or ChatGPT, whichever model you are using, or you think your customer is using. So how many times your brand is coming? Suppose you are having 100 times query is run. How many times out of those 100 your brand is getting mentioned? So we decided that to a start off, it would be better to have the most commonly used model, that is ChatGPT. That's a good strategy to start off. We discussed this. And then we had a lot of stuff about how to make content less ambiguous and how to make authoritarian pages. We saw this human AI metrics where you had that Excel sheet also, where you can position that is the AI aware and also the human aware or not. Your goal, at least in the future, should be that AI should be aware. So in case AI also not aware, human also not aware, that's a very serious issue. But at least AI should be aware, then human can be made aware later point in time. So we saw this human AI metrics. We got this spreadsheet also. Some Indian examples came up. And then came this content on hyper-personalized value creation. How you can use this LLM opportunity to create a hyper-personalized value creation. We uh, we saw that there are a couple of risks. Though LLM will learn and content will get created, but the risk was that there can be hallucination and misinformation. Then we saw what can be defenses, but LLMs can hallucinate also. Then there can be biasness and also the black boxes that you do not understand. So to stop the biasness, we had some strategies mentioned in the slide, followed by data leakage and privacy. So if your content of your strategy document is uploaded on the LLM, how you can prevent it. We saw that example of Copilot, which has the last URL also is hinting towards which has this data encryption that the data will not move outside the premises of the organization. So data encryption is there. And then we have some this framework, and I will not go into the detail for this, but I hope you are able to now recall what we saw in the first 2 weeks, more or less. So what I will do is I will go to the main agenda for the day, given this recollection we had. Now we can move ahead. So before moving ahead, I would request you just take 2-3 minutes, and there is a this first video that will be referred in this first 5, 6, 7 slides down the line also. I want you to take 2 minutes and see this video. The first video, there are two videos, but see this AI mode query fan out. This is there in your shared folder. Just take like it is hardly 2, 3 minutes video. Just watch it and just let me know in the chat by a thumbs up that you have watched this video. So when the as the content unfolds, you will understand much better. Okay, so people are giving me thumbs up, so I hope most of you have done it. So before I begin, and because it's the last session, so whatever quiz is going to happen, it will be based on your slide only, and all the slides are there with you. So don't think that just like 20 and 20 to 25 MCQs, whatever 30 to 35 minutes, it will be there, and both the topics that I have covered, you may find equally weighted 10, 10 or 12, 12 each, so on and so forth. So that would take care of the quiz jitters. Now we can finish off the remaining portion. So let us see. So what is going to happen is the new reality problem from roots to odds. So today what we are going to introduce is first of all two technical things that is going to happen is that I am not discussed on deterministic and probabilistic ranking. So the search that we have known till at least let us say 2021, 2022 was more or less open deterministic ranking, where your SEO, your search engine optimization was like a checklist that ranking was based on a set of predictable, but it can be a complex factor, but it was predictable. So that is the, because it was predictable, that is why this slide title is deterministic. So you have your explicit signals that you do this in the same sequential manner like an algorithm works, and you are likely to get an output that you are desiring. That it heavily prioritized tangible signals like exact word in your H1. H1 is your main header. H1 tab, the number of backlinks, and the domain authority. So you do this and you are likely to succeed. So your role was as very simple that the process was likely like an engineering task, algorithmic task that you are familiar with. And if you tick more and more boxes than your computer, and you have a high certainty of ranking higher. So just example that if you wanted to rank or buy shoes online India, you would ensure that the exact phrase was the title, meta description, and content, and you will build links that the anchor the text. But from that, we are moving to a world in LLM, which is more of a probabilistic game. Probability means that there is a chance that your brand may get shown or may not get shown, even if you are trying your best. So what happens over here is this AI-driven search doesn't follow a checklist. It calculates the probability that the piece of content is by the true underlying intent. Now, this is very important that whatever task you do, but AI will weigh that if your brand is shown, is this going to satisfy a users? So there are based on the user who is querying this AI LLM app, is your content going to satisfy the query of that particular user or not? So that the context of the user is also taken into account, and that is why it becomes a probability, not a deterministic. So the AI will predict the result is most likely to solve the user's entire problem, even if the content doesn't use the exact keywords from the query. So even if exact query is not hidden in your content, that's not an issue. But overall, if the content appears to solve the query, then you are likely to be pitched higher. So your role will change from the process now about influencing AI confidence rather than users. It is AI should have confidence that your content is going to solve. So you must convince AI that the content has highest probability of being the best answer for that particular query. So how these two things work in real life? So if you ask a very simple thing that show me all restaurants within 1 kilometer that serve biryani of your location, that it is very deterministic that exactly how many restaurants it should show. The fixed rules, the results is a simple list. But if there is a probability, probabilistic, how it will become if the user queries to the LLM, where should I go for a good family day? Now it is not very simple because now here all the past interaction that the user had with the LLM will come into play. So AI has to predict what good means to you as a user, not you as a firm, but as a user, what does good use to mean? Because that's a very subjective term. What is good for one may not be, maybe worse for other. So it will weigh the factors that your past searches have been, what you have searched in the past. And you may have searched in the past lots of South Indian cuisines, maybe just cuisines, not the restaurant, just cuisines. So it may think that, okay, this person likes South Indian food. Okay. So then the recommendations can be and will be influenced by those restaurants come popping up which serve South Indian dish, at least if they're not any South Indian specialist restaurant in the vicinity. Also, your location, time of the day to calculate the most probable best answer for this query. So is this difference between deterministic and probabilistic clear? Yeah. So now we move for how does it matter to you as a marketers that what is the impact of this probabilistic ranking is going to be for you. So your Jugaad SEO, that stuffing, keyword stuffing will not work. So simple tricks are just good enough content will fail, and the AI can determine if low probability of satisfying the user and will demote it. We have seen this in the previous sessions also that your content needs to revolve around this four different things that there's the person who is developing the content should have an experience, expertise, assertiveness, as well as trustworthiness. I will not go into much detail at this point in time, but we have seen in our private sessions that the content has to follow these kind of four levels that they should be experience, expertise, assertiveness, and trustworthiness, so that the AI can understand that your content is better than the content by somebody else. And also explains surprising rankings. So if that is by a comprehensive travel blog. So if somebody is just a travel blog who is very focused inside, outside, all there's authoritative content, there is a uh, that we have hub and spoke model that we saw in the previous chart. So there is a proper hub and there's a proper layout. All the spokes are going out and spokes are backlinking to the main hub. And you have some recommendations from some other known sources, media, and all. So in that case, it can happen that even if you are not the government authorized source or some very reliable source, still you can be ranked higher because your content authoritativeness is high. An example is given on this slide at this point in time. So coming to AI overviews and AI mode that we have seen, just how they relate, a quick overview that AI overview is the optional visible summary. Now today we are going to see that we have on what basis AI overviews come and on when they do not come. So why occasionally you get overviews for what kind of searches AI overviews come and for what kind of searches AI overviews do not come. And always AI mode is the underlying pipeline that influencing all the searches. That is always an optional tab that you have. The reason why overviews appear intermittently is because they appear only when confidence, that the term that we saw, AI confidence and safety thresholds are met for the current query and the context. So AI is your LLM is sure that this for this query I can generate, or actually I should say synthesize the proper answer. Then only this Google AI overviews will appear, else it will not. You cannot force overviews, and you can increase eligibility by fresh, corroborated, structured, and citable content. That content should not be old and it should have all the complete information that is needed. But even without overviews, AI mode affects at the back end all the retrieval, re-ranking, and which brand passages are cited. So your focus should be to optimize entities, structure, and evidence. So benefit both in overviews and classics results. Classic result is the normal result that you are used to see. The key point takeaway is that the AI confidence and safety thresholds, when they are met, then they overviews come. We're going to see this in much more detail. So the technical pipeline that how it works forward. So now what happens is the context, this query fan out, that is why I asked you to see the video. So there is always a context priming that is well before the query is written. Whenever the user in the login phase is there is always a context that runs behind the scene. And in April when I was having that introductory session on generative AI, also showed you that when you're keeping memory on or memory off, they have different repercussions. That was your choice. So anyway, overall, Google always have a based upon your whatever videos you watch, how whatever mails you come on, all over how you interact. Most of us are using Google Chrome only. So however you interact, and most of us do not use incognito mode. So there always a context that is behind the scene that Google knows about us. Then this query fan out process works that you've just seen the video. So then it goes to a multi retriever recall. So it's not one thing, but not from one source, different sources. Then it gets everything synthesized, re-ranks, and then it gives you synthesized answer. Composed answer means the answer is synthesized from various sources. So sometimes you will find that numbers are mentioned. They are the saying that these are the URLs from which the answer is getting pulled. There is an agentic orchestration for this, that a system plans subtasks, runs them in parallel, and then merges the results to cover intent and breadth and depth. So all the in that diagram that you saw, that all the for single query, whatever subtasks that were planned, they are called synthetic queries that we are going to see today only. That what are synthetic queries? That is how this problem gets solved because AI tries to think that maybe this query is not the right query. How can I reframe it into a better question? We have had this in our generative AI class also, that how to improve our basic prompts that we can ask the AI to do, but at the back end also in AI overviews and in a search engine also, it's not only the single query or the single prompt, but it is always uh, AI thinks that what can be the how is the best, what can be the user intent be by this person is asking about this. So that is why it will make synthetic queries that we're going to see in later point in time today only. So then it will have a blended retrieval where it combines the keyword, then semantic vectors and all. I will keep the highly technical very low in the slide. So let us say it goes into semantic vectors and all, just very layman language, basically correlation. If it thinks that the query correlates with this content, then the correlation is like positively correlation, negatively correlation. So negatively correlated, totally out of context. It will not pull that content. It with a positive correlation is there. It will start pulling that content. So having that content to be very in a very simple terms. So grounded synthesis is chat. Generation is constrained to cited passages. Unsupported claims are suppressed or stupid. Lastly, there are quality gates, which mentioned the AI again. What the confidence, how much fresh the content, corroboration and safety. Policies determine visibility, including whether AI overview appears. Last is what you can do as a marketer is provide extractable modules. We are going to see also headless design. What does headless design means? Provide extractable modules, structured data, and verifiable sources to feed each stage effectively. So what we're going to do for each of these stage, there are a couple of slides for each for context priming, query fan out, so on and so forth. The following slides will discuss in detail. So we start with context priming and user state assembly to start off. So as just hinted you just now that it's based upon the context priming of the prior queries, location, device. Is it Android device? Is it a desktop? Is it a laptop or tablet? How much sessions have is this session in the past you have interacted with, and also the language preferences. They all form the context of the user who is interacting with that LLM. Then comes the routine impact. Then this context in mind, it decides that which retrievers to use. So how many subqueries to spawn and which thresholds to apply. Once this is done, here comes that it doesn't actually go when it goes to the net, it masks your any identifier information, but it goes for an on an average, if this is a persona, though it knows about you, but says that on an average, this is a persona that I need to search. So for cohort level and session signals, adjust answers while respecting privacy constraints. So it will not put everything all about you. It will not put all your clearly identified numbers. But what will do on an average, if a user type, it's a persona type, it's this type, what kind of information should I get? So that is called a cohort level. Outcome shaping. So this context biases, evidence selection, tone, and example. So whichever content it is pulled up is always influenced by the context. A person from South India, there will be a forthcoming example that when its movie reviews are there, so it will think about those getting content from those pages which have those South Indian languages content to pull from one person from Delhi. The slide will tell you, then the content will be more of a Hindi or an English kind of stuff, or the portals from which this content will be pulled up. So context biases, evidence selection, tone and examples, different cohorts are see different passages. So cohorts is nothing but group of people who are similar in their context. Cohort is nothing but group of people who are same. What we can do is you can localize terms, units, examples. We are going to see how we can do that. There is HRE flags that will come up that technical side will tell you that maintain language variants. This is where this HRE's discussion will come up in later point in time, HRE. And consistent entity IDs per token. So you can track performance by audience segment and journeys, not just overall rank or traffic. So this is a heuristic when this AI overview will come. That if the questions, when the AI confidence gets very high, if the query that the user makes the Google is starting with how to or to compare two things, or you're looking for a definition, or you're looking for step-by-step task, then the confidence gets high, and there's a very high probability that this AI overviews will come. Then the confidence also influences. Overview appear when the claims can be traced back to multiple reputable and recent consistent sources. So not only one site is answering, there are multiple sites. If it thinks that is only one site that is answer, it has a less confidence, so AI overviews may not come. But if there are multiple sources that are hinting or trying to answer same type of query, then it gets confident that yeah, so I'm not going to hallucinate by just taking confidence in this one source. And so AI overviews will come. AI overviews, Google overview. That is evidence availability. So how much data is there? So is this rich, redundant citations across domains raise confidence, or there are conflicting source substitutes? There are very conflicting this and that. If the confidence is low, it will not be. Structure. So if your content is based on all the schema, we saw that we went to this site, Google search result page, and we pasted a code, and then we saw that all the billion or whatever improvements can be made. That exercise we did in the second turn. So if there is structured content, if it gets, it is likely to get and give you the overview. Then we move to freshness weighting. So if the pages have those pages which have the content regularly updated. So there is always a trail that when this last page was updated. So those pages which are updated continuously, log is maintained with visible timestamps. So there are more chances for AI overviews to pull up these. Lastly, is the last thing is risk controls, especially when the questions user asks for cough and cold, which medicine should I take, or which medicinal health issues people ask, what kind of medicine, because they think I can, why need to go to the doctor for a prescription? I can take the help from a Google, get the name of the medicine. And India, it is very easy to get over-the-counter medicines. So you go and I can go and get. But that is very risky. So in sensitive areas, so health and finance, stricter safety and quality thresholds must be satisfied before showing overviews. So in case it is very sensitive disease in which AI is not having confidence, it will very try best not to give anything in overview. Maybe it gives URLs, but it's up to the user to go and search. But it's like AI is not going to recommend anything from its side. Forward. So when the system fails to open, then it goes to your classic search engine result page. That is the normal the blue links come there, but AI overview is not coming. So just low confidence. The queries are very risky. AI doesn't have. So example is suppose it's asking is ULIP better than ELSS employee linked social scheme, something like that, or something like medicines for the children. So it gets complex and it becomes risky. So it will say, I do not want to show overview, but it will show you the URLs of the trusted sources. You can go and check the information yourself. Then there's something very new or long tail topics where there's limited training data available, something that has recently come up, then it will try to avoid doing overviews. If there is an operational takeaway that maintain a strong traditional such as your posture, titles, internal or core web vitals. So then it can happen is what you can do as a solution. If you are having these problems, what you can do is make the structure proper. That is what it is. Overall, this point takeaway. What is your operational takeaway? And how we will measure this is track overview inclusion rate, cited block frequency, and standard ranking to understand shifting visibility. We did this exercise also where over the period of time I gave you an Excel, you can track that today was my brand mentioned or not. Maybe if I do the interventions, I make my schema proper, enrich my content, and then after 2 weeks, is AI ranking in getting influenced or not. Second, lastly comes the remediation steps that improve citation density, update timestamps, so on and so forth to make uh, the content appear that is current. So expand to structured data. I will not waste more time on this. I can move to the next slide. Now comes to the content of the super query. That is where you are saying the core engine of deconstructing the super query. What does the super query mean? Query is what the user gives. Super query is what the AI takes forward. The super query framework and the AI internal investigation. So to make a confident probabilistic guess, a single query is what the user is giving. A single query is what enough data for the AI. So So it creates a super query. All the queries that the branches that take the synthetic data, which I'm going to do with you, it's like based upon queries, what are the similar queries the users can ask. So the process allows the AI to explore topics from many angles, increasing its confidence that the final answer it presents in the AI is the correct. I think the next slide may have an example. Somewhere one or two slides example will come. So a synthetic query is a question that AI asks itself to get complete picture, and it's a purpose-driven. Each query is designed to solve a piece of the puzzle. So what are the related concepts? What does the user really want? And how does this compare to other objects? So for your content, your group will be for managers, anticipate the synthetic query. So you are not only going to make content for the prime query or the main query, but also the synthetic queries that gives you a direct blueprint for the exact content we need to create. Example, yeah, this is example. So let us say the user is querying for Diwali is going to come in 2 weeks. So some of you will be planning to give some gifts to the family members, friends, or the colleagues at your office. So the user simply says Diwali gifts. So what does this term means? The AI is not sure. To be sure, what it does is, given the history that it has learned about the cohort, please remember the context is already formed. So when it tries to make these synthetic queries, it's always a people like these. These are my current user. People like these also ask similar questions or content questions of this type. So Diwali gifts ideal for family and corporate. What are the corporate Diwali gifts? Budget friendly Diwali gifts under 1,000 rupees, so on and so forth. So these are uh, sub synthetic queries under the implicit. We are going to see this differentiation once more in the later in detail. Then comes related queries. This is one set of sub queries, one type, implicit. Okay, then comes related queries. So you ask for gifts, that's fine. But at the same time, things can Diwali decoration ideas can also be given, or latest Diwali fashion trends. This is related. This is directly linked. This is related to Diwali and not about gifts. Then comes a comparative types in which it says home handmade Diwali gifts versus store-bought Diwali gifts. So overall, for a simple user query, it has gone to multiple angles. Even it went outside the immediate context of Diwali gifts, but still remained within Diwali only when it starts to related queries. So then the result will happen. AI will be rich summary addressing budget, corporate kits, family ideas, so on and so forth, and trying to answer all the synthetic queries that it has generated. Is this thing making sense? We are going to go in more detail today only. But overview is clear, broad idea of synthetic queries.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you have seen this query fan out. So that was the video I asked you to do. The YouTube URL sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. So I downloaded this video beforehand only. So you saw this video query fan out. We can move forward. Now we are going to see what this terms were. There are 7 levels of synthetic queries. In the second session, we had 4 classifications, but for synthetic queries, we have 7 classifications. So introduction to the 7 queries or super queries is not random structured investigation using 7 distinct methods. So why it is important to understand, because then only you will be able to make those sub queries, synthetic queries from your end. So though today I will show you a tool how to generate it, but still you must need to understand all the 7 levels. So by understanding the functions of each, you can build a better content strategy that perfectly aligns with the AI logic. And we will dedicate several slides. So we will have all this, what is technical, managerial, and as well as examples. So all the 7 queries. So next 21 slides, that is what, one slide technical, other slide manage action, and also again examples. So 7 into 3 is 3 slides into 3, that is by 21 slides. Next 21 slides will lead. So first type of query is the related queries that you just saw. From gifts, it went to the fashion or decoration items. So how AI finds conceptual relatedness. What it does is not going to get in detail. Some of you may have words like a vector search, text embeddings. That's fine. What actually it does is the AI converts words and sentences into mathematical representations that is called vectors. And relatedness is simply the proximity of two concepts in the meaning space that it creates. So if the two concepts that it's saying it is very close, like Diwali gifts and Diwali fashion trends or Diwali decoration items, then it thinks that these are related. It can be related queries. So another example apart from Diwali is, let us say if you're looking for an IPL score or some recent Asia Championship score or the Women's World Cup, Cricket World Cup score, so and so forth. Then it also same time, other than score, it can also look forward to live cricket match. Because you're looking for a score right now, it is high probability that you're expecting something that is going to a real time. It can happen that you're looking for yesterday night score, that's a different thing. But in general, if you're looking at your score, something like a live cricket match is going. So they are very close, while IPL score and the stock market are very far apart. So when it is you are saying IPL score, then it will not think about any finance domains or any social domains or even marketing domain. It will look around the cricket domain. So the AI finds a concept that is semantically close, not just textually simple. What happens for your managerial point of view? Your goal is not to have just a very narrow topics. You should have a topical breadth. So not about Diwali, have multiple knowledge. So focus on the clusters, not keywords. So shift from strategy from optimizing for single page, single keyword to building a comprehensive topic clusters. We have seen this in the very basic slide, but now today the agenda is to expand it. Why we needed that all the content in the AC example we had when we saw told that do not just say about the AC, go about Delhi AC, Chennai AC environment, fine tune it with the uh, regional nuances, then your topic authoritativeness will come. So your goal has to be have comprehensive topic clusters. So build a content hub. They create pillar pages like another example here. Suppose you have a guide to mutual funds in India, and then you have everything that is related to mutual funds. So rather than just thinking about mutual funds, within it also provide a broad overview in detailed articles. Subtopics like in a mutual fund, SIPs are there, or equity linked savings schemes are there, or some how to choose a mutual fund. So all these things, when linked, covers all the related queries that can uh, solve a person need, user's need when they are looking, asking, querying a LLM for a mutual fund. Examples, a more detailed example, suppose the search is on a financial website. A page is about home loans in India. Okay, so topic, a page about home loans in India. Weak content can be The page repeats home loans in India, best home loans, but how AI will can help you is there. So you discuss everything, calculating EMIs, your marginal lending rates, also the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So if everything is there, then it will also understand that you have richer domain. Content is there, so your content will get pulled up. At the same time, you are not sure if just for home loans in India, what does the user intended to meet? User can intend anything. So your page should not be optimized only for this query, but it should be optimized for all the different queries. So this was all about related queries. And from related queries, we move to implicit queries, the first type. Similar type of queries within the same, immediately same kind of rephrasing. Let us say, if I want to paraphrase something, this is just the best thing to tell you in a very plain language. So paraphrasing the initial query. So this is based upon NLU. How it works is these models are trained on vast amounts of text and search data, so they learn about the common unstated questions that are associated with a particular query. So a normal short, small example can be, and this model knows the queries for best engineering colleges in India. So when the user asks this, it is also asking follow-up questions can be, what are the cutoff for this colleges? Suppose the college name comes for, what is the cutoff for which Pilani? And what are the placement records? What are the hostel facilities? So on and so forth. These are the common questions once such kind of initial query is generated. So for as a manager, what you need to do is you need to be an expert and who anticipates the needs. Map the user's full journey. So if once a user is going to take an engineering college admission, not only admission, from there to the hostel phase, even to the convocation, graduation, placement, throughout the 4-year life cycle, you have to think. So brainstorm every question a user has from their initial curiosity to their final concerns before purchase. So that will how you can do it is you can have your FAQ pages. Okay. Sometimes, most of the times, you will see that many sites have their how to reach. This is a common query that how to reach this place. Most of the colleges are located at very far off places, so they will tell you the nearest railway station is this, nearest bus stop is this, and so how you can commute or what are the services that we provide you. This is a way you elevate your FAQs page. So your sections no longer a page to be read. This FAQ is your prime asset for answering implicit queries. Make them detailed and easy to find. Mine your customer data. So you will have miss people calling. So they will be customer logs. You can ask generative AI what are the key questions that this person is asking in this point. You can purposes of whom? Right? Training purposes for the LLM or training purposes for the responder. Your call center logs, chatbot transcripts, and sales skills feedback are a goldmine for implicit queries. Turn these into real questions into content. Turn these real questions into, for example, just have a look. So there's a query that is made upon site like Nika. So best sunscreen for Indian skin. What are the related implied queries can be? Do not think there are only 4 given upon the knowledge it has. It can be 40 also. It can be 2 also. It's brevity on the slide deck I have kept them 4 only. So when it asks about a site like Nika, it will go on sunscreen for oily skin. Given that Indian skin is asking oily skin and humid weather, because weather in India most of the time of the year is humid also. We are because we are dark skinned, so it's also an issue that it will leave a white trail on the skin. If person is not from India, they have less an issue, but Indians white white layer should not be there or brown skin tones. And what is the difference between SPF 30, SPF 50, and is it sweat proof or not? So your content can be product page or blog post that properly answers all these unstated concerns will be seen by AI is the most helpful result. From implicit queries, we move to the third level of the queries, that is the comparative queries. Here, versus kind of situation trying to come. How AI identifies the user's choice point. So, what's the technology running behind? That's some programmatic triggers, and patterns matching. But how does it works is when it identifies certain keywords because it is coded to identify keywords like versus, or, compare, alternative. So, and query pattern that says that specifically this versus this. Then it says that this is a type of comparative queries. So what is going to happen is this a high value signal will tell you this signal the user is in a consideration phase. So when there is a comparative query that a user makes, so this makes that the user is already into the consideration phase when the couple of things are already decided. So and this person just want to compare, like somebody who's processing a laptop, so the Ryzen 5 is better than an i5. So this person is confident enough that yeah, I'm into 5 series only. I'm not going to do 3 series or the 7 series because then the query could be uh, i3 versus i5 versus i7. But right now it is not going to do that. It is saying Ryzen 5 versus i5. So it is trying to compare not two different levels, but at the same level because one is slightly cheaper, one is slightly costlier, and or at least that is couple of thousands more and it's invested and all the specifications remain the same. So which one should go for? So it is more likely the purchase will go to happen. So close to making a decision. So AI should give high priority to content that actually helps with this choice. Do not give too much things, but tell me just this versus this. So let me show you also. This can be done. As I have, if we do very specific, just AI overviews, I say because I've already done this. So it's 5 series. Dedicated Ryzen. I will just use this and then I will edit it. Edit. Just let me edit it here. So I will just delete it and I will rerun it. There are two versions of Ryzen. So now see the way it has given up. First, see there's some one link which is above AI overviews, which was not coming the last time. It was coming today morning also when I tried to see that. Do this query for you. What had happened is there is some content a URL that has started pop up. This is not part of AI overview. Start from this line. Okay, so if I say show more, but now it has found some content which it thinks that it is better than AI overviews because this is a peculiar thing I saw today only that one URL is even above. Other URLs are below. That's fine, like normal way in the last 2 weeks discussed. But today, this is the first time I noticed. Maybe some of you have noticed it earlier also. I'm not sure. But this is today is the first time when I was trying to make this content or revise this content. Content was made weeks ago, but I was revising this content. I saw this versus thing. So now maybe this site is very clever enough because this keyword versus is there. So I'm not sure, but maybe because this site name is versus itself. That is why it is getting ranked higher than AA overviews. But overall, what has happened in OA overviews that we were discussing is that all the content that is coming is only comparing these two things. AI 5 generally outperforms Ryzen 5, so on and so forth. But there's nothing about i3, R3, R3 Ryzen 3, i7, R7, nothing. Everything is very customized for the information I seek. This time it has not, query fan out has not happened to a larger extent, that it has not gone to think this is rated query, this is implicit query. It is very specific because it's a comparison. And then some sources are there, that's fine. But this is in real time how it works. So also it gives me a conclusion that for most users, i5 is the superior processor due to highest overall, so on and so forth. Technical knowledge is there and all the links it has referenced to get this. Not sure, Sagar, what you are asking. OR or BS, I have no clue what is OR and BS means. It's OR.
No, I meant or versus. So it's not versus if we can put or and check. Just the thoughts.
Versus has moved one line down, content has gone up. Moving to back to technical, so comparative query. AI overview is giving high priority to the content that actually helps with this choice, as you saw in this example. Another example that can be okay, manager election. So what you can do is don't hide from competitors if you cannot directly put on the website, get some sources because this is a genuine query people make. iPhone 17 versus Google 10 or something like that will come. If you cannot put this content on your site, this what you can do is get those influencers, do their some other second, third website, let them do it based upon whatever wherever whatever the rule says. So if you don't create a page comparing your brand versus competitor, the AI will simply use competitor's page or a third-party review, and you lose control of the story. So even if just get those influencers to you and sign up with you and get your content out there, comparative content out there. So create assets like dedicated landing pages versus pages should be there, and best alternatives too. Those who upload YouTube videos, they will always say that in case you make a video, try to think how to. This is the common queries that people do. You're making videos, something about in which how to make some any food dish. Then don't say use the word how. It's uh, yes, how the wording is there in the title also influences. So be honest to build trust, a fair balance comparison technologies and so on. So you have to be very fair also. This AI will should have confidence while putting the store. Do not have arbitrarily subjective codes, have the numbers mentioned, so on and so forth. Be honest to build trust. Another example can be e-commerce, Flipkart, Amazon. Right now it is happening. Flipkart Big Billion Days and the Great Indian Festival. So users want to understand which sale offers better deals on specific categories like phones and electronics, which are highly sold at this point in time. So maybe on your website you cannot do, but if you have, and you should have links with just tech blogs and news sites that can compare. That creates a detailed article on people do on Amazon. There are sites like Buy Hatke, Desi Dime, so on and so forth. They do what is it? They make comparison for you, and then they put it on the website. There are even web extensions that you can install, and that on a real time can tell you that if this product is cheaper or not at some other places. So those who are not familiar, if you're you want to see this extension, but you're familiar with what I'm talking about. Okay, no response. Okay, I can keep continue the content. So to understand this and that, so tech blocks. Yeah. So we move to the fourth query. Uh, that is your recent queries. This is a fourth type. Recently, what you've asked. So there's also a short-term memory that is there. So there's a session management state that recently you have been talking all about this. So you are most likely to refer to this thing only. So AI stores a user's content queries from current search sessions in temporary cache, and it uses entities and concept from recent queries to understand the context, the current one. So a search for tickets is ambiguous. But if the previous query was upcoming movies in PVR, so it is likely that you're looking for movie tickets and not a concert ticket or not even a sports ticket. So as a manager, what you can do is you should have a clear information sent. It's just like breadcrumbs that you put to get to remember the story was there. So what you need, information sent means to put information in such a way that it attracts. So users in the AI follow a trail of links. Your site must provide a strong logical trail from one related topic to the next. So architect topic clusters, so structure your content So related to articles are heavily and logically interlinked. An article on the trip to Goa should have things like trip to Goa should have people go for beaches, North Goa versus South Goa, and Goa flight packages. Maybe some hotels also can be added over here. So focus on the user journey, user flow. After this, what will be the next thing? Website is easy for a human to navigate, is also easy for AI to crawl and understand your information. Example can be, yeah, same example that if a user searches for Delhi to Dubai flights, so flight where hotel. So wherever the destination is, so hotel say Mumbai airport, next query is AI understand the context, then it says understand that once the flight is getting searched, next can be airport, so I can show about hotels near airport also. And next can be some things like things to do in Mumbai. If the person is visiting, apart from the business trip it is, then you also person may want to do some sightseeing or seeing something else that is very important. So we can have information. So which one website will be better for us? So there are two websites, commonly two names. So which one, the sites that have information apart from the just a ticket that provide information about the other queries also is more authoritative and will less likely to get pulled. The AI. From here, we move to the fifth type. We move to hyper-personalized queries and how AI uses a digital life, user's digital life. So all the information that you have left on the internet, so user profile modeling and cross-platform data integration happens. So how it works is across all the Google services that you use, it has made a profile for you. Google creates a sophisticated profile for each logged in user by analyzing their activity across its ecosystems. All these ecosystems, YouTube, Maps, Android, Google Pay, WhatsApp, this and that, whichever services of Google use you on the for AI overuse, it has a profile done for you. So output will be the fine tune of the is used to this profile is used to fine tune the results. So a person who uses Google Pay will have a different kind of output than a person who uses some other platform. That is what last point we're going to say. A user who frequently uses Google Pay for transactions at high-end restaurants will get different results for best restaurants than you and me because it knows that the person is can afford high-end restaurants. Then a user who primarily orders from a Zomato. Zomatos are low-value orders compared to a person who's going paying via Google Pay at a Taj or some Lee Meridian or those kind of top-end hotels will have their output as a very different compared to a person who's ordering for Zomato low-value orders. So what can be as for your manager? So action plan can be win your niche audience. So don't think that one content is fit for all. You cannot create a single page as it's perfect for Indian every user. Their location, language, path, behavior will change what they see. So you will have your customer personas made up. So double down on your target person. So which type of customers you want to attract to your business. So those for that particular persona, your content should be fine-tuned. So focus all your energy on being the absolute best resource for your specific target audience. Brand like Myntra should focus on being the best result fashion conscious. Last thing is the goal is association. You want the AI to run when a user with a specific profile, example, young professional in Bangalore interested in tech, has a question, your brand is most proven to answer. Example will be, yeah, so different languages and location. So this is what the review example I was discussing here just a couple of minutes ago. Suppose a user in Chennai searches for latest movie reviews and the history is a mix. His history or her history while interacting with the LLM is a mix of English and Tamil. So the AI is likely to show reviews from regional reviewers. The content, the blogs which will get highlighted, the AI overviews will be those having regional reviewers, like those sites are mentioned behind words film with Tamil and showtime for local cinemas. While a person who is in Delhi, who is more or less most of the time interacting with the LLM in English, the history is more pure in English, then it will go for better known sources which are in English, national critics like Anupam Chopra and organizations like Film Company. So your takeaway is for this is the same query yields completely different personalized results based on language, location, and past behavior. The query was both these queries. The assumption was both these people, but from different locations, have this latest movie reviews as a whole. Moving to the sixth type of query is the reformulation queries. This is the technical part of it. What does reformulation means? This is the explore different phrasings. It's the same paraphrasing, reformulate. So query rewriting expansion models. How it works, the AI rephrases the user original query in several different ways. How does it? The query was how to invest in stock market might be reformulated as a beginner's guide to Indian stock market or steps to start investing in NSE. So if the user asks this only, how to invest in stock market, it can have something like a beginner's guide also or a step-by-step process to start investing in National Stock Exchange. This purpose is this helps the AI to discover high quality documents that answer the user's intent correctly, but don't use the same initial phrasing. Intent remains the same. So what your takeaway is think that you're writing for humans and learners. So embrace your natural languages, use a rich variety of related terms, synonyms, and phrasings, write your content as if you were explaining it to a real person. Use question-based headings. So this is where H1 headings you saw that are the main. Then within that, you should have second level, that is section headings, H3 are subsection headings. So that can answer all those related queries. So that are direct questions, what documents are needed for PAN cards, and so forth. And this makes it easy for AI to make your content. So cover all the angles, take away Z, a piece of content that comprehensively addresses the who, what, why, when, and how topic will naturally contain the varied language the AI is using. Example can be a person searching for a government scheme like Ayushman Bharat. So a user queries this, how to apply for Ayushman Bharat. How it can reformulate this same question is via these couple of things, Ayushman Bharat scheme eligibility, maybe documents required, what are the covered, what's covered under this can also be the reformulations. Once this reformulations is done, your winning content should be a comprehensive guide on sites like Tags or some news portal that answers all these reformulated queries with highly ranked, will be highly ranked as it satisfies the full intent. Satisfying the intent of the user is the main thing that we look forward to. Coming to the last query type is the entity expanded query. How the AI connects to its encyclopedia. There are two technical terms. One is the knowledge graph, that is the encyclopedia of the Google, and the name entity recognition. Simply explanation, knowledge graph is nothing but the encyclopedia of Google. So how it works is the AI identifies a specific entity like a brand, like a Reliance Industries, such as the Wipro or Taj Mahal in the query. Then it queries its knowledge graph, its database to pull structured facts about all whichever entity is getting queried. So for a person, the age, date of birth, and so on and so forth will get pulled it. The output powered the knowledge panel you see on the right hand side of the search results. Facts, dates, and related entities. What does this means is if I just go and type Shah Rukh Khan, Shah Khan. So all these things, I didn't ask for this person's age or the spouse name, but it thinks that if I'm asking about Shah Rukh Khan, I may be interested about who this person is married to, maybe what the current age of this person, maybe some news link is also coming. But I just answered Shah Rukh Khan, but it thinks that these are the related things that should be there. This is the overview that you see on the top. Going back. Output order knowledge panel you see on the right hand side. What you can do as a manager is that this is non-negotiable part. You should have structured data that we have discussed over and over again. You should have all the company name, address, logo, founder, products in your on a machine readable format. So Wikipedia is the source in which the go-to source for Google. So you must have a proper Wikidata. It's the key for you having a place get highlighted. Also, you should ensure consistency that your brand name, address, GST numbers must be identical across all the places. Your website, your Google business profile, any other places that you do filings and all major directories. Consistency builds a high confidence. So these are the 7 types, and let us just quickly see the example also. So if a user searches for something like a Zerodha, it can also give about. Just see the word, it is an entity. It's not a word, it's an entity. So all the founder details, the year it was founded, and wherever, what are related entities, it should all be there. The knowledge graph will give you more or less likely this kind of now distributed authority and trust for the user type. So overall, these are your 7 types of the sub-synthetic queries. And so now we will have a break. So in this one session, we discussed more or less that what are the queries and then how this AI overview works. We understood that this is not a single query. We saw that it's a synthetic queries that is AI fans out. So this is called a query fan out. And we saw on the 7 heads, the 7 ways. I'm not saying this is exhaustive. Maybe when this slide was made, a couple of more subheads are added that I don't know about. But let us say for today's session, these are 7 subheads which tries to solve the user intent or user needs and how it expands. So even if the user said this, AI thinks user might have wanted this as an answer or for this answer to this. Overall, it assembles this information, this query fan out, all this information to synthesize an output. So if you want me to go back to any slide, you can let me know, or else we have our break and we will resume at 8:30. This was all the 7 slides.
Are we starting back at 8:30 now, or what time?
Yeah, 8:30. So there's no doubt we can start at 8:30.
Um, Sorry, I have a question. So,
Yeah.
as as per the TU, all the 7 queries, if we need to create or content for each of every queries or topics, let's say for one main queries, we need to create 3 or 4 other sub queries, other subtopics related to the main query. So, for those, all the, let's say I am covering those queries through our blogs. So we need to generate a EAT factor for the all the blog pages, right? To rank.
Hold the,
To,
I just missed the last 2 seconds. What did it say? You need to create?
we need to let's say I have created pillar topics for main query, and
Hmm.
for other implicit and related queries, I create other cluster topics for my blogs. Now, how can I create the EAT factors, the trust factor for the all the blog pages?
EAT factor for the blog pages. So EAT means first the expertise. So the person who is writing that blog is an expert in itself or not. The first one was like that. EF1 was expertise. Then is that person having experience or not? So that experience was coming forward to, if I recall, the example was like from some if you the blog, in the blog, suppose you're having a health content mentioned. Suppose arbitrarily you're having something about common cold symptoms, how to in the winter is about to coming cough, like you are saying, today I'm having slight throat. So if your blog is there, and now suppose you are not a doctor, but you have put this post, then AI over will not understand. Then your experience and your authority will come if that blog post has an author mentioned as a doctor who is having so year experience from a renowned source.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that so that for that content you have to find somebody who's authoritative, and then you mention that in the context of a blog post, and then the other two parts will follow up accordingly.
Okay. And let's say I have uh, create those for in particular any product or just comparison you just showed so in the example. So can I just put the Google over reviews rating also in that comparison blog
Yeah.
to get the EAT factor?
Anything that is officially available to you, you can cite the URL from which it is you are sourcing it, and you can put it.
Okay.
Suppose you have just put, you are just like a person who just assimilates. There are people who used to blog just pulling the information for, suppose you're having a mobile blog and you're putting information from 91 mobiles. You can
Mm.
mention the source URL. Then you are giving authority to that website as a different thing, but you will also get that this information is authentic. So it is like you translate, like we had this vernacular. Suppose you cannot fight at English level. English level means at those people who are publishing in English language, but you have expertise in some local dialect, and you want, and your target persona is a person who is having who is looking forward to or interacting with LLM based on that local dialect only. So then what you can do is your content goes is curated in your local dialect, but it links the source, the well-known sources. Then also you will get authority because your information is coming from well-known sources.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Got it.
Anybody else? So now we will have can have a break. There's no question. Just let me know if people are back or should I wait for a couple of more minutes. Okay. So we go ahead to the final hour of our learning for 10 sessions. The final hour starts. Mood is there. Let me just see. Okay. So what I do is I first, because generally it happens after 9 p.m. people lose much more interest. So though the tool is there in a couple of slides later, but still I will want to give you as much time as you want. The task you need to do is there is this second video that is also there in the your create folder, right? So first, what is going to happen is there is a this Q4 tool. Right? So Q4, this one, yeah, this one. So actually, this is an app. What I need you to do, I'm just posting this URL also on your chat. The first task is you watch this video, right? So when you watch this video, there's a this example I have made for you. To those who are not familiar, means you can just see the example at your end only. That I have for one particular simple query that is best mobile under INR 50,000 to buy in an AI mode and also AI overview mode. How what kind of queries, synthetic queries it will generate. Just take though okay, you can see here also because there's no audio. No need to change your screen. You can see here only on my screen. There's no need because there is no audio in this video. What I have done, those were just let me pause for a moment. Also, it's a very simple tool. What you need to do is just enter your query. I will tell you the technical Gemini API key also is needed. But before that, just suppose that the key was seeded. So here, what is happening on the left hand side? Enter your query means the query that you think that the user is likely to ask. Yeah, so the best mobile under INR 50,000 to buy. This looks like a reasonable query that a person is going to do. So once this is say, I mean I select this AI overview or AI mode, and then I say run fan out. I have clicked over here, and now it has started to generating query fan out using Gemini. This may take a moment. So this is simulation two. It was surprising. Nobody asked me, sir, how will you generate this queries? So blah 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 blah. So just let us hold. Let us see what it is giving us. So it is saying that the query best mobile under 50,000 to buy is multifaceted because it's very open-ended. To comprehensively address the user intent in AI mode, complex a higher number of queries is needed, and this allows exploration of various aspects like specific brands, features, camera, battery, processor, operating systems, comparison between top contenders, considerations, so on and so forth. Increases the query. This increased query count ensures a rich and nuanced response. Okay, so though in the past 1.5 hours I was continuously speaking, nobody asked me how to generate how to generate this. Means how, is there a tool? Nobody is asking today or anything. This was a tool. Once this is done, so it says that for the query that I have asked, there are 25, 28, something 26 queries that is going to it is going to generate, right? So what it has generated is I'm just going to pause over here. There's a Excel file given to you, or not Excel, or what a CSV file that is titled as Q4 output. If you open this, I've copied this output that it has generated for me when I was recording this video, and it is like this. So these are the four heads. Yeah. So the zoom slightly. So query was this is my initial query, and after this, all these are it's 26 synthetic queries that it has generated based upon my initial query. And then it is saying this synthetic queries fall under which head. Okay. And then if this query was this, then what is the user intent? And then also it's also giving the reasoning why this synthetic query is generated. So please take at least 5-10 minutes. First, try to understand this because this Excel file is there with you. So you can open it and see it yourself. While you see, I need to do this. Take 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you want. First, see the video and also the Excel file, and then I will also give you time to practice this yourself also. So what you need to do is while you're watching this. Okay. First, once you're done, then I will tell you how to use this tool, like Excel is, if you want to do it right here, right. Okay. So you have seen this video. What you need to do is those who are familiar with just come to Google and type Gemini API key, because once you have reached this URL, it is asking on the left hand side Gemini API key, right? So what you need to do is just type Gemini API key over here, and then you have to find this link that comes to Google AI Studio AI API key. So after you make an account, means you have to get logged into here, and then you can say create API key. And once this is there, means you will get a code over here. I will not do it because it will be visible publicly, but at the back end, so I'm not going to do it. So what you have to do, you have to log into your website. And it may ask you to set a payment, but that's not needed for such a small task. No need to just generate it by a shorthand means. And then you can do just select single query, either of one of these, or type any query that you want and have a practice. Any other query that you think, or in your context or your business, that you think the most common question that a customer may ask. you want me to repeat what I just said, just let me know if you're understood the task. Take 10 minutes, do it.
Could you just run us through again how you generated Gemini key?
You have to go to Google, you have to type Gemini API key and then find the link which I says that Google AI Studio. Google AI Studio API key. When this link opens, once you have logged in, means you have to log in. And then you can either click on the left hand side, get API key or create API key. Miss. So once this is done, at this center portion, the key will come. You can just copy it and paste it at this point, at over here in configuration. And those marketers and all who are looking at this person, this is a firm that provides so that if you want to hire them, you can hire. Similar tools are the firms that do it for us. This is one of those firms that can do it for you.
When we go for creating, it's asking for a project. Like,
You can just mention some project, right? Create new project, something will be there.
okay.
What topic you are guys studying next? Next week, any idea?
I'm sorry, do you ask what topic we're having next week?
Yeah.
I don't think we have been informed yet. Davalya, have we got any communication on that?
I'll have to take a look at that. Just give me a second.
Are people still doing this for yet? If you have any concerns or you about this, this is the main tool that was the agenda for the day. Wanted tools, right? Nobody was asking how to generate this. It's not about whimsical thinking, but tools are there to assist you in generating it. And then from here, at least the manually exercise remains the same. That you take this query, go to the AI LLM, prompt it, and then you see if your brand getting pulled or not. That we did exercise, the Excel exercise that we already did in the previous turn. It also that is your choice. You can even ask the generative AI to rank these queries. That if you do not want to optimize for all the 26, tell me the top 10 queries that I should optimize for. You can use generative AI and then ask it for which queries to are the most key ones. So it can tell you.
So any other tools for that OpenAI? This is for Gemini only.
You can Google it around. And also, I think because the snippets showed the GAI maybe generative AI only, so it's got better I didn't do. So you guys got my field that I didn't do, but it was better that I didn't get into deep detail, but the other guy might face tension problem. GAI, I think it's generative AI. It's better I didn't go into my detail. Session you had your
AI.
yeah, but next GAI is written right. GAI maybe generative AI. That is what I think. I'm not sure why the last three terms CAI, but maybe whatever it is done. But some other topic with GAI is written right. Yeah. So this is done. So let's get back and complete this takeaway. Okay, so I'm resuming, right? Everybody is fine. Resuming. You are done with Fourier tool.
Yes.
Okay, Fourier tool. We are moving forward to. This will tell you introduce you to Fourier tool, but I wanted you to practice beforehand. So what's the technology that is running behind the scene? So slightly one slide detail about the terms that you have seen in the previous couple of slides. That what is vector search and embeddings? Very superficial, just touching broadly vector search and embeddings. What it is nothing but a mathematical model for representing the conceptual meaning of words, sentences, and even images as numerical vectors. Why it matters? Because it allows AIs to match concepts, not just keywords. It's the engine behind your related queries and understand that's the best veg restaurants and top vegetarian food places mean the same thing. And what's the major indication that your content strategy must be based on covering topics and concepts, not just rigid list of you. Second pillar is your knowledge graph, the technology of facts and authority. What is knowledge graph is? Basically, it's Google Encyclopedia that I was referring to. It's a massive interconnected database of entities and relationships between them. And Why it matters? Because it provides the AI with trusted factual information, allowing it to answer questions directly and perform entity expanded queries. Major implications, a key marketing goal is to make your brand a distinct entity within the knowledge base. Third pillar that we are discussing was the Google's cross-platform data. This we have also touched this in between. What it is, it's Google's massive integrated data sets all the behaviors across all the platforms of Google that you interact with, search, YouTube, Map, Android Pay, Google's Pay. And why it matters? Because it is a fuel that for the publicistic ranking. It allows the AI to predict which content a specific type of user is most likely to find satisfying, and this powers the hyper personalization. So this is how we are Google's Brahmas. Top-down tricks are useless against it. The only sustainable strategy is to earn long-term audience trust. These were your three pillars. And now the Q4 playbook that you've just seen. The Q4 playbook, your actionable action strategy. So why did this exercise was knowing how the search engine works in step 1. Step 2 is using the knowledge to build content design for it. So what's the full form of Q4 is query, foraging, and information architecture. Query, foraging, and information architecture. And it's a practical relatable framework for creating content ecosystem that is optimized to satisfy AI entire super. This is the website that you just visited. So we don't need to go it again. That's query, foraging, and information architecture. So you just saw the recording also and sample sheet also, and the tool you have mastered it. I hope there's no concern over there now. So overall, what we have done this before your step 1 mapping exercise in this was for each of your primary business topics that you need to can do is anticipate the entire super query a potential customer might have. The process, gather your marketing, sales, and product is from after the super query is generated. All the super queries or the synthetic queries, whatever you want to say. Start with a core user query and then brainstorm all possible predicted, implicit, comparative, and so on and so forth. All the queries a user in India might have. And the output, a detailed content blueprint that becomes your roadmap for next 6 to 12 months. That's how you are going to fine tune it. In the step 2, what we are going to do is match the content format to the user's intent. So once you have map of the queries that you just had, 26 or how many you got? I got 26 in my example. In general, if you those who were trying it, how many number you got?
We got around 12.
Yeah, I got 13 only.
It also depends on left-hand panel what you were choosing. Did you choose a complex mode or AI overview mode? So in AI overview mode, there will be less queries, and depending upon on left-hand panel, whatever you selected. 28, 19, whatever you were choosing. So a single blog post cannot effectively answer every type of synthetic query. One size fits all approach. So fails and the reactions. This requires creating a diverse portfolio of content assets where each piece has a specific approach. So how your new content asset map will look like? So you should first is to win implicit queries, the how do I questions. Okay, so FAQ pages should be there and how to guides should be there. So these are the things for targeting the implicit queries because there are 7 levels. So at least the implicit queries, what the user actually want to know. So you should have the FAQ pages and how to guides and learning centers at beginner guide that you can have. That's why you find these resources and other things on the site freely available to download or download it with some email ID just related with. That is because they want to satisfy your implicit queries. Then comes for targeting the competitive queries, you should need to have this or that questions answered either on your website. If the law says that we do not allow it, then you have to do it. So build dedicated comparison tables, landing pages, alternative articles you just saw. And for related queries, you can have blog posts on pillar pages to demonstrate your deep expertise. Apart from this comes your multi-language opportunity in AI search. The principles of the super query apply equally to all the other languages, Hindi, Tamil, Bengali, whatever other languages are spoken in India. AI models are becoming increasingly proficient in understanding generating content in regional languages. And this is currently a massive arbitrary opportunity. The volume of the vernacular searches is exploding, but supply of high quality comprehensive content is still low. So one of the participants asked me what he or she can do, then I would post my suggestion. Content is less. So content you can create, even if you cannot have new content, just translate and synthesize and put in your own. So applying this framework to your vernacular content strategy can help you to leapfrog competitors. So what are the key takeaways for the Indian market? The new goal is build an answer ecosystem, as we have seen for the past 50 or so slides. So shift from ranking single pages to creating a comprehensive interlinked content ecosystem that provides the entire user problem across the super query. Embrace probability, not just rules. So you saw this EE80 increases the probability. We have seen this over and over again. Next, go to the portfolio mindset for content. So treat content as a portfolio of assets, pillar pages, FAQs, how-tos, comparison, and so on. So control the comparison. So create honest versus pages and feature tables and alternatives, like something like Flipkart, Amazon, Baidu versus Kantu, or so on and so forth. And entity first always. So you should always have your schema, and then you can use your Google search results page to find it. Is it following that format or not? And also you should maintain your all the information consistent across all the places where this information can be looked forward. So 5 on the next slide. Design for hyper personalization. So create audience specific journeys to separate for Hindi and English first users. Leverage vernacular and local signals. So after this slide ends, we will discuss more on this vernacular. So build high quality content in your local languages, adding regional examples, units like rupees and kilometers rather than miles and dollars. Local festivals and state specific regulations should be followed. Information sent in clusters. So have everything that is linked to it. So flights, hotels, and things to do. This is one set. While mutual fund, SIP, equity linked savings schemes, the second set. Have your data and feedback loops. So Indian customer support chat logs for implicit questions you can identify. You can upload the transcript on generative AI and ask it what are the queries and what are the query types. It can help you in identifying those. So update your FAQs and guides quarterly based upon the implicit queries that are asked in the chat or the transcripts. Last is measure what matters. So track those conversions, put time, go to the depth and query coverage topic cluster. Because this is not a deterministic but a probabilistic scenario. Last slide for this. So just it's a probabilistic and not a deterministic world that we are going forward to. This AI mode, you cannot ignore it because smaller screens, major chunk is devoted to that only. And you are no longer optimizing for keyword, but as we saw in the beginning of the slide, that is a probabilistic world, not a deterministic anymore. To complete, you need to do these following subpoints: influence user search behavior through other branding channels, and engineer content at the passage level for both semantic and VLLM preferred. Understand and anticipate synthetic query landscapes. Optimize for semantic similarity and triplicity. And track rankings through profiles with curated user behaviors. Last thing is Google. This isn't traditional. This is relevance engineering, whatever EE80 and all, whatever topic that we've been discussing. This is a new term that some of you may be listening. That is nothing but What is relevant? Relevance engineering. I did not use this word earlier, but this is what we have discussed all over. This is relevance engineering. Visibility is a vector and content is judged not only what it says, but how it aligns with what. This is the last thing for this slide deck that is important is what Google thinks the user meant. This is very important. That what you think as a manager is not important. What the person actually think is not important. For your content to arrive on Google on AI overviews, you have to understand what Google thinks the user. It's not. So this slide decks end over here. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. But I have some other content that was that I can cover. That was vernacular. I've been speaking again and again. But I have some slides on local SEOs and LLMs that we have not discussed earlier. But before that, that was a very heavy slide deck that we covered the last 2 hours. If you have any doubts, we can go back. As this is pretty simple, but still we have some time, so we can devote on local SEOs and LLMs, vernacular things that we have been discussing. अच्छा ये भी है. Okay, this is also there. There's one more tool that I was there. This other way around. Just this is notepad is there, but I'm still giving you the link. So in case you are not interested as having the complete chart 50, this is a straightforward thing. In case you know the query, right? So you just want to know, suppose you are just interested to know the query type, what does type it is. So if you have a bunch of queries like we have just have, so these are a couple of queries that I am copying it. So enter your keyword, these are line by line. So this will help me to predict the categories based upon the classification this person had created. So this is some other classification, but it is how this is a short fact, comparison, compare this and that. So it all depends how much depth you want to go. But this is another tool. Some other site has devoted, but it is architecture defined query semantic class classifier. This person has generated. If you do not want that 7 levels, if you want smaller levels, you can have whatever queries you have just generated, you can copy paste over here, but you do not need a API key over to the source. Let me just quickly see if anything else is left. I covered every other content that I've shared with you. You can devote, let us say, 15 minutes to this slide that was remaining. Local SEOs and LLMs. But in case there is any other concern, we can discuss that also. There's no mandatory, it's pretty simple to understand. Just let me know what I need to do. About half an hour is left.
Um, there was a recent article that Google has changed its algorithm to an extent that only the top 10 searches now appear on instead of the top 100. So it's now become quite difficult, obviously, to figure in the top 10. So what is the best way of doing that? Because 100 may have been easier achievable. Top 10 is quite difficult unless you're super precise.
Okay, I had this somewhere over here. Just let me find this. Wasn't this slide? Just a second. What you are referring to? Yeah. Just let me see. Now, so, I randomly starting somewhere what Cliff has asked, but this is relevant in this case. Here. So what does Cliff has asked is getting difficult, but how you can do it. or how what I can do is, so it is like because you guys are revolted, you do not want to do any workshop, so I will just straight away show you. So because also the time is not left now. So it was like to reverse engineer why an AI model prefers a computer for a perfect query. So what Cliff was asking, if I got this right, was for those 10 for a query, those 10 terms are coming. So why those 10 and why not the others are coming? So it is like reverse engineering you can do. This is not relevance engineering that I discussed at the part of the last slide, but it is to reverse engineer why an AI model prefers a competitor for a specific query. In this, let us say that you do find one query where a computer clearly wins the AI response. So analyze the AI answer, which you have to take that AI answer and try to see what sources does it cite for the computer, because you see uh, the URLs are there. So is it their own blog? Is it a blog for some third-party blog or some the news articles? Because your competitors are getting highlighted, but maybe the source is not a computer's website. Source is somewhere else. The authoritative source is not the computer's basic or the first primary website, but some other sources. So you have to identify which sources you just saw. I don't think I need to go back to Google, but all the URLs or the small circles you find that which URLs are contributing to this Google AI overview. So is it their blog, a news article, or so and so forth? So then the third step comes, you visit that source, go to that source, and then see what made that source authoritative. Because throughout the 3 weeks that we have devoted to this LLM, we have established that it is pulling the authoritative content. So once the authoritative content is getting pulled, so you have to identify what makes that content authoritative. Is it a detailed guide, right? Or is it a data-driven report? What it is there that it is making that content? So it's a detailed guide, it's a data-driven report, a well-structured product page, what it is actually. And then your task is to document the characteristics of that winning content. What can you learn from it? Once that is done,
Right now.
what you need to do is you build your counter-offensive strategy. So to translate the analysis from the previous exercise into concrete action plan, you have to do a content gap analysis that based on the computer winning strategy that you have just identified. What specific article, guide, or data report is your brand missing? What is not there in your brand or whichever URL you want to promote? What is not there? So define the title and the key points of these content you could create. Second thing comes the technical responsibility. Does the computer's page use advanced schema that your page lacks? Is there a page significantly faster or more mobile friendly? Third is the PR angle. Was the computer cited in a major publication based on an angle or a story that you could pitch to us? Similar publication. So in case some other source that has computer cited, some other very prominent person has cited. ठीक है आजकल वो होता है ना all the ministers are citing this Zoho, Atari. That's why Atari is climbing, because all the authoritarian sources are climbing. Newspapers are publishing their alternative to WhatsApp, so they see alternatives. Atari. So suppose now you are WhatsApp or you somebody else. How you can reach those people and get your link or your brand also highlighted by them if you have something similar to it. So action item can be that you define one specific actionable next step that could take in the next quarter to challenge the computer's position. I think the next slide will have an example. So just look for this example. There's no point for me to reading it. Just open the slide completely so that you can understand.
in this example, now Satan and Economic Times was the reason that they are probably winning. Now it would be potentially hard to get another article of Economic Times to say write about HDFC Life also. So in that case, I think what the solution would be to try get another publication of repute to post an article. Would be that would be the outcome or strategy.
From Economic Times, you can try to go to Financial Express if you think that Financial Express is the thing, or Hindu Business Line is if it is more reputable. You can the best maybe get a source that is more powerful than the current one. So in my learning, I think maybe the Economic Times is most widely read, but maybe you can say that the Business Line is more trustworthy. Let us say. So you can try for more trustworthy source.
So potentially just another AI search to find brands that have more repute than Economic Times or equal, and then use that source to publish an article.
It's not always AI usage. Means you can have your formal learning also at the end. AI learns not everything AI can tell you. They, of course, they can tell you maybe, but other sources you can also look for sources outside AI also generative AI. It's totally dependent on generative AI.
Okay, but in general, how long would the AI model take to learn? I mean, let's assume I have managed to find a competitor to Economic Times and get a very good article out there. What would be the time period by which the AI would then start determining that, okay, now potentially HDFC is now a good competitor or equivalent or better? Is it a day, week, month? How long does it take
We
to
had
process
this.
that?
We had this exercise. We said that we have to monitor it bi-weekly. We had this discussion the previous 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
That bi-weekly is the better time, best time to see bi-weekly and a monthly basis. Not immediately, it will not happen. Bi-weekly or at least a monthly basis.
And if I had to boost, say, on my own website to promote that, we've been featured in so and so in say, let's say Financial Express, would that help boost the thing up? Because one is I'm relying on people
Yeah.
doing it,
So
others I can
yeah.
boost
So
it
that
myself.
is that is a backlink, right? So that will help you that you provide the URL on that such a companies put in the media bits. Every institute or every factory or every industry also puts their company right in the media, in the news, in the media. They have their separate tab. Why they have? Because they're putting a backlink that we are cited by established sources.
Right. Okay.
And that's why all this fake economy, fake awards are generated under 30, this and that. All this because that's another fakeness to get this ranking up.
Understood.
I get so many so offers, pay so and so, pay 1 lakh rupees, and you will get some arbitrary institute giving me a best faculty award, this and that. When I said no, I'm not that best faculty award, but I do get bids, pay so and so forth. You will get business assistant award, best faculty award, innovative faculty award. So and so forth. In your field also, you will be having idea or you will be approached by so many firms that pay us this much, and we will rank you as the most influential person in your domain.
Okay. Good suggestion.
If you have read this, so I go to the second. This is a continued example, second slide also. So CAI is conversational AI. Good that I didn't discuss anything, but at least else the content would have overlapped severely with you. You didn't like it, but that is not generative AI. So I know generative CAI is conversational AI. Chatbots. So this is the final step. What you can do. I should not discuss this, right? Because that next person will discuss it with you. Let me see what I can discuss. I had this. Because anyhow, but we have this, we can discuss this anyhow because it will be asked in the exam. It can be asked. So, because it's prepared. So let us see. Synthetic media and AI avatar. So last 10 minutes on this, and that's it from my side. What it is, synthetic media is AI generated content, including text, images, and activity, video and audio that you are not familiar with. All this Google Banana and Google VO3 and all. I hope you get a good hand of it. And what is going to happen is AI powered product demos can happen that you are, what are challenges that can come with this is that you are creating a personalized video for every customer and demonstrating the product features most relevant to them, narrated by AI avatar in their preferred languages. Right. So this allows for hyperscale personalized communication without massive video production budget. And AI can be trained on brands messaging to generate marketing copies, social media posts, email newsletters, so on and so forth. So what the point of caution is that technology is powerful, authenticity and transparency are key. Always disclose when content is AI generated. We do not need to do this organizational excellence. We have seen it over and over again. That we find something interesting. Yeah, legal and ethical considerations in the AI era. Your DPDP Act So Indian copyright 1957 is silent on AI of a chip, and courts have given conflicting opinions earlier. Assume that purely AI generated content may not be protectable, and use AI as a tool, but ensure significant human skills and labor. Now this comes to your recent DPDP Act, which has been there, and be transparent upon how you use customer data, personalized AI-driven experiences. The new DPDP, Digital Personal and Digital Data Protection Act, now governs India, and you must obtain clear, explicit consent before collecting, processing data for AI models. And there are many other nuances also. There are other things, DPDP Act. Bias and representation. So AI models run from Google internet data and which often lacks internet Indian context and can contain biasness, religion, caste, region, and language. So what you can do is audit your brand presentation AI answers. Does the AI misrepresent your brand? If AI is misrepresenting your brand or show regional biases or use inappropriate stereotypes. Also follow your advertising council guidelines, ACSI guidelines. If competitive ads cannot be placed on your website, do not do that. So whenever this conversation will happen, so beyond the search box, conversations will happen that assistants will come. I do not want to go into detail because some other person is taking it. So the ultimate goal of AI is to be proactive assistant. So people will ask, but something interesting is there I would like to highlight that headless content that I wanted to show you. So imagine that there is an AI assistant that is imbibed, so they know their travel plans and all the agentic function. I will just brief it. So there, all the travel plans is there, and they can proactively suggest booking your hotels and so forth. So this requires all your agentic API and all. But this is what headless content. The last point I need to discuss that what you as a brand need to do is having a headless content. What does it mean is it is content floats freely across the devices where this information is needed. So a content needs to be structured to be easily consumed and repurposed for any AI. So on any platform, it can be a smart speaker, even a car ka dashboard, AR glasses, and not just your website. So that makes it headless content. And your long-term goal should be become a trusted foundational data source within your niche, ready to integrate into the AI assistants for tomorrow. Let us see an example. Suppose there is a person who is this is Rohan, who is going from Mumbai, who is going to Jaipur. So he is searching flights from Mumbai to Delhi or hotels in Jaipur. And so this is a reactive process. Rohan need to manually seek answers. But in future, as more and more agentic AI comes forward too, that Rohan's AI assistant already knows that he is traveling and he's a friend's wedding in Jaipur. So AI goal is not to wait for Rohan to search, but to assist him proactively. And what it will do is it will take the lead. And how does it take the lead is because this example will say that hypothetically assuming that Rohan is sitting in a car. So it is interesting to see. So this means that what does this headless content is that you have valuable data, your flight schedules, hotel room descriptions, prices, and user reviews. If not be locked away on your website, the core information, the body must be separate from visual representation that is called the head. This is an example. Let's suppose this person is sitting in his car and he's driving. So the interactive unit that is installed, that is a Reno X, that what are some good restaurants near my hotel in Jaipur. So because this Make My Trip has adopted a headless strategy, it can happen that and made its restaurant data available via an API, the car's AI can access it. It doesn't need to go to Make My Trip. You don't need to go to the Make My Trip, open the app, or see the website. The AI will verbally tell that a car screen might show a list or visually also show a list of top-rated restaurants, Make My Trip database, complete user ratings and directions, as well as the information is from Make My Trip, but the trip is the car's dashboard. The same data could be read aloud on a speakers shown on TV. This is the power of separating content from explaining. So this is what the headless content is about. All the connected cars and all will slowly and slowly move into this domain. In short, headless means that you create your content once and publish it anyway. The core idea that is behind the scene is that you separate the brain from the body and think of the content as in two parts. The body is actually the content. This is the raw information, the actual text, prices, data, images, and data. So for in the example that we are dealing with, the hotel description. So the hotel description, the price, and the user review. These are all the content. While the head is a presentation layer, and this is how the information is displayed to the user. On the website, whatever visual elements you're using, the layout, the fonts, and this is your website. So earlier, what used to happen is traditional website is headed that the content and body are tightly stuck together, one system. If you want the content somewhere else, you have to build a whole new system, a headless system. Cuts the head off. So now the content body is a central library, completely independent of how it will be displayed. The library is often called headless CMS, content management system. The last point is the library makes all its content available through an API, which is like a secure control doorway for other applications to request and receive data. So this means the same core information can be sent to any number of different heads to be displayed in a completely different ways. I can stop at this point in time if you have any general discussions to do, and because today's the last 5-10 minutes of it. We can discuss that. Discuss any more slides. Overall, for the past 5 weeks, it was nice interacting with you. We covered 2 topics in great detail. Algorithmic, your MAB, multi-amp bandit, as well as LLM search. And you should not quit because the next sessions will be on your generative AI and conversational AI. So you will get those kind of AI also. This was a nice learning experience for me because for the past 3 months, I've never taught these topics earlier to anyone. And also, once I was invited by IIM, so I had to wait for the last 3 months at least, day in, day out. And content was every time much more than I could have presented, as you know. I didn't cover synthetic data, but I hope the following person or somebody else may be able to cover synthetic data. That is also interesting content. But yeah, it was from scratch preparing all this content. So Dhaval Kalem, your something is on your face. So yeah, bunny everything. So it was a scratch up. Now I am free now. All my weekends, 5 weekends were getting sacrificed. Now my weekends are back. That's it from my side.
How would be the exam, sir?
Easy. Which topics I have not taught? Corporate finance, operations, LLM, and multi-arm bandit. So you will check the simple questions.
So it will be MCQ.
You want to write, then I can give you. You want to write?
Is okay.
Then if you want to write, you can have. The more pain you want, the last time the pain came, you said that you didn't want to participate. It should not happen that saying a descriptive question you walk out from the examination hall. At your point, I'm not sure. You give from exam from home, how will you give? Yeah, home from right? Home.
Online proctored exams. So
Online proctored exam test. Yeah, but from your own place, right? But at BITS, what happens is that you have to visit test center. It happens like once in 2 months only, but for our online programs, we have.
From home.
But we do not give from home. You have to visit the test center. But anyhow, it's an institute protocol that ever you have. But exam is fairly easy. 20 MCQs of both the topics I've taught. All the slide deck are with you. So both the topics I've taught, 20 MCQs. And I'm not sure how that.
And sir, time 30 minutes or 1 hour?
30 minutes is enough.
No.
Yes.
No, sir. Actually, your topics were so deep now, so we would have to spend some time to understand each and every questions.
There is always a superpower, yeah. There is always a superpower this proctored exams have. Use your superpower and see the fastest exam, not your part. If Jaro can stop the recording, then I can talk something off the channel. Lecture is